I'll be starting with the poem named Aunt Jenifer's Tiger, composed by Adrian Rich. Okay, so any questions from the last poem, Things of Beauty? Any question, so that I can proceed with the syllabus? Yes, any question? Anybody? Shall I proceed to the next poem? Okay. So Adrian Rich, she is an American poet, essayist and feminist, okay? And she is widely known for her involvement in contemporary women's movement in the late 20th century, okay? She is an American poet, essayist and feminist, okay? So here the poem Aunt Jenifer's Tiger addresses the constraints, the problem of married life a women experiences, okay? So the poet illustrates, she addressed about the problem, the constraints of a married life a woman experiences, okay? This is all about the poem. Now I will be just explain the poem, okay? Okay, let's start. Aunt Jenifer's tiger prance across the screen. So here the poet is describing a lady whom she addresses as Aunt Jenifer, okay? And what she is doing? The poet says that Aunt Jenifer, she is doing embroidery on a piece of cloth, which could be a tablecloth or a wall hanging, okay? So what the poet described? The poet described about a woman whose name is Aunt Jenifer, and what she is doing? She is doing an embroidery on a piece of cloth, which could be a tablecloth or a wall hanging, okay? Bright topaz. Topaz, you know? Topaz is a yellow colored gemstone. Okay, topaz is a yellow colored gemstone. Okay, so bright topaz. So these, ma'am can't see you. Why you can't see me, Ashmita? I am here. Okay. Okay. So bright topaz. So now the poet describes that this tiger which Aunt Jenifer is embroidering on a piece of cloth, these tigers are bright yellow in color, just like the gemstone topaz. Topaz is actually a gemstone, okay? So it is yellow in color. So the yellow color of tiger is compared to the yellow color of the topaz stone. So this is an example of metaphor. Denizens of a world of green. Aunt Jenifer has designed with tigers which are running fearlessly in the green forest. Denizen means a place where animals live. So the tiger lives in forest. So the background of the embroidery of the tiger is green in color, which reflects that tigers are fearless in his own denizen, in his own place, okay? So the poet describes that Aunt Jenifer is embroidering the tigers which are yellow in color, and she has designed this fearless tiger in the background of green forest. Okay? They do not fear the man beneath the tree. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. So these tigers, they refer to tigers. These tigers are fearless and are not affected by the presence of those men who are hidden beneath the trees. They are actually, these men are hunters. They are hidden beneath the trees. So this dense green forest where the tigers are living freely. Here the poet wants to depict that Aunt Jenifer also wanted to live a free life. She wanted to live a fearless life. Why? Because she had faced many difficulties in her conjugal life. Conjugal means married life. Okay? So these tigers are fearless and are not afraid of any men who are hidden beneath the trees. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. Sleek means elegant. Pace means movement here. And chivalric means act of gentleman. Chivalric means like a gentleman. Okay? So, these tigers look very elegant, shining and proud. Okay? And these tigers, they have full of gentleman's grace. So this means the poet wants to say that Aunt Jenifer also wanted to live his life freely, but she hadn't led his life like this way. Okay? So these tigers are described as elegant, shining, and full of gentleman's grace. So this is the explanation of the first stanza of your poem. If you are having any question, please do ask me. After explaining each stanza, you will ask me if any confusion is there. I am ready to repeat the line. Anybody? Any confusion? Any confusion from your side? Any lines? If you have not understood, you can speak here freely. The fourth line. Okay, fourth line. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. That means these tigers, when they move, they look like elegant. I have told you sleek means elegant, shining, and these tigers are full of gentleman's grace, just like the graceful of a gentleman. Okay? This is the meaning of the line, of the last line of the first stanza. And they are as proud, they are fearless, because they are living in their own habitat, that is the forest. They are proud, they are fearless, they do not afraid of anyone. Any other question? Or shall I proceed to the next stanza? If any question is there, if any difficulty, any queries, you are free to ask me here. Topaz. Topaz, I have told you, it is a yellow colored gemstone. Yellow colored gemstone, and which is compared to the color of the tiger. Okay, topaz is yellow colored gemstone, and the color of the yellow is just mustard yellow. The color of the gemstone is just like mustard yellow. Okay, it is yellow color gemstone. Okay. So I am proceeding to the second stanza. Aunt Jenifer's fingers fluttering through our wool. So as I have already informed you, Aunt Jenifer, she was embroidering some tigers on a piece of cloth in the background of a green dense forest. Okay, so when she was sewing, her fingers were trembling. Why? Out of fear. She used to scared of her husband. Why? Because she had a very unhappy married life. Her husband used to torture her. Okay, so she was totally scared of her husband. Okay, so that's why when she was doing her embroidery in her free time, she got scared because of her husband. Okay, so that's why her fingers were trembling while she was doing the embroidery. Find even the ivory needle hard to fool. So she is pursuing her hobby. When she was pursuing her hobby, she was scared of her husband, and she could not able to pull up and down the needle while embroidering on a piece of cloth, only because of her husband, because she was very much afraid of her husband. If her husband would see her of embroidering on a piece of cloth, then he might have scolded her. So she is totally afraid of her husband because she had a burdened life. Her life had been a burdened life, and even she had been burdened by all the obligation of a married life. Okay? The massive weight of uncle's wedding band. Wedding band means a wedding ring. So it is too heavy for her to wear it. Why? Because she was leading a very miserable life. She had a very bad conjugal life because her husband used to torture her. Sits heavily upon Aunt Jenifer's hand. Which sits upon Aunt Jenifer's hand? Uncle's wedding band. Her husband's wedding ring is or has become too heavy for her to wear it. Why? Because this wedding ring is associated with some bad experience in the form of torture, which she used to receive from her husband. She had some bad experiences in her married life. So that's why this wedding band, this wedding ring had become heavy for her. Okay? So this little ring is described as a heavy band on her trembling fingers because she has faced many difficulties in her married life. That's why the wedding ring, it is too heavy for her to wear it. She could no longer tolerate it. That's why she is passing her time while doing the embroidery, and the tiger reflects her desire to become free, to become fearless. She is too scared for her husband. She is leading a tortured life, a miserable life, many bad experiences she had faced throughout her life after her marriage. So that's why this little ring has become too heavy for her to wear it. Any question from the second stanza? Am I clear to you? Am I clear to you? The second stanza. Am I clear to you all? If any confusion is there, please say it. Okay. I'm going to the last stanza, that is the third stanza. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. Steel ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. Ordeals means severe bad experience. So throughout her conjugal life, she had faced many bad experiences. She has faced many difficulties in her married life. Okay? She has been leading a burdened life only because of her husband. Because her husband used to dominate her. Her husband used to torture her. So here the poet depicts that her ordeals, means Aunt Jenifer's severe bad experience, will end up her death. She has to tolerate it till her death. The tigers in the panel that she made, that means the tigers which she was embroidering on a piece of cloth, will go on prancing. Prancing means jumping, moving around, proud and unafraid. That means her embroidery reflects her desire of freedom and fearlessness that would remain alive in the tigers which she had embroidered on a piece of cloth. Tiger reflects proud, fearlessness. So here, Aunt Jenifer's desire to become proud, to become free, to become fearless depicts through this tiger which she had embroidered on a piece of cloth. Okay? Her wish to live free, a fearless life, indicated by the choice of her design. Why she was designing only the tigers? Why she was not designing any other animals? Because tigers are proud, they are fearless, they lead a free life in the forest. So like them, Aunt Jenifer desire, Aunt Jenifer wish is to lead a free, happy life just like the tiger. So her innermost desire has been overburdened by her conjugal life. She was leading a very miserable life throughout the years after her marriage. She was frightened, and her trembling fingers would be pulled to rest. It would be pulled to rest only after her death. So all the bad experiences would come to an end after her death. But still, she would wear that ring, and her dead body would be also under the control of her husband after her death. So before her death and after her death, she could understand that she won't be lead her life freely. Why? Only because she was afraid, she was scared of her husband, she was overburdened by the torture in her conjugal life. Prancing means jumping or moving around, and chivalric means, which you will get in the last line of the first stanza, just like a gentleman, act like a gentleman, move like a gentleman. Okay, chivalric means like a gentleman's attitude. Okay, so this is all about the poem. So here the poet addresses the problem, the constraints of a conjugal life which maximum women experiences after her married life. Okay, so here Aunt Jenifer depicts her desire to become fearless, to lead a happy life just like the tiger which she had embroidered on a piece of cloth. Okay, so this is all about the poem, and I have completed it. I have completed the explanation. Do you have any question? You could ask me. You are free to ask me here. Any question, any problem is there. From the next day, I will make you write. I will dictate all the central idea of the poem. 4 poems are there. First, I will dictate you all the central idea of the poem. After that, I'll be discussing all the important sample question answers, and I will also make you write all the sample question answers which are very important for your examination. Okay? Any question? Any question from your side? Students? Any question? I have completed. Go through it. Okay, others? Ashmita, no ma'am. Others? Nitu. So, am I clear to all of you which I have taught you? Am I clear? Yes, Jivanangshu. Okay. 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 So go through the poem at home. Okay. Next day, I will just start to discuss about the central idea of the poem, and you can write the central idea of the poem because it's very important. All the answers will be included in that poem only. Okay, till then, thank you very much. Bye bye.